Alright guys, weigh-ins are in the books. Now it's time for the fighter face-offs. Scheduled to start any minute now. They're not broadcast, so they're not exactly always exactly on time. But the fighters are starting to line up and get ready, so they should be going pretty soon.
Yeah, I know.
No, I thought I was like, I'm the final series again. What's up? Yeah, right? Doing all right? We're getting there.
Mark Jackson. Are you working camera?
No, yeah.
Well, Dana's on his way in. He'll be in shortly.
It's building.
Hello everybody and welcome to the weigh-ins face-offs. Get these wrapped through these fights pretty quickly. We've got the bantamweight division kicking off the night. We have Mark Striegel against Said Nurmagomedov. Next up in the light heavyweight division, Max Christian against Gadzimurad Antigulov. Moving on to the lightweight division, Faraz Ziam against Jamie Malarkey. Next to the stage in the middleweight division, John Phillips against John Young Park. Next up in the women's flyweight division, Poliana Botelho against Gillian Robertson. And the featured bout of the preliminary card, Garam Katateladze against Mateusz Gamrot. The first fight on the main card in the featherweight division, Jonathan Martinez against Thomas Almeida. Next up in the welterweight division, James Krause against Claudio Silva. And in the light heavyweight division, Modestas Bukauskas against Jimmy Crute. And your co-main event of the evening in the women's flyweight division, Jessica Andrade versus Caitlin Chukagian. And your main event of the evening, 5 rounds in the featherweight division. The Korean zombie Chan Sung Jun against T-City Brian Ortega. Thank you, everybody, and we'll see you tomorrow night for an excellent card of fights.
Brian, could you have made weight with the hair? Yeah. Didn't. He was not. Oh well. Cool. Dana's gonna stick around and do a scrum, so we'll leave the stream running.
Perfect. It nights perfectly. No. With our content, okay. Well, as long as it doesn't go for the other one. Yeah. Yeah.
That's a fair question.
Очень интересно, можно брать.
What's up, guys? John?
How you doing, man? Hey, listen, fantastic main event. I mean, I think outside of the pay-per-views, this is the main event people were looking for, right? So what is it about this fight that you like so much? I mean, it got scheduled. Tell us what you like about it.
Listen, we've had an incredible run through COVID. Florida, Fight Island 1, Fight Island 2. It's been an awesome run for us. And listen, I know a lot of you guys are as big a fight fans as I am and love everything about being around this. Getting the Zombie and Ortega together finally, I mean, both of these guys are you know, class though. Stylistically, this is a fun fight. We're ending our 5-week stint here with 2 badass fights back to back. Yeah, I was saying this to Ioli or Akamoto, one of those guys. I had so much fun last weekend at the fight. That fight card last weekend was so much fun. Before I came out here, I just watched the cold open for Khabib. It's so fucking awesome. I can't wait for these next 2 fights. I'm excited, and you know, stylistically, this should be a fun one too.
Yeah, Brian surprised us with his hair. Did you get a chance to talk to him? It turns out he's donating it to charity, but we didn't know if that was planned ahead of time or like he needed it to make weight. Do you know at all?
No. Yeah, I didn't know either. Lene told me that he should do that, and yeah, I had no idea.
Yeah. So the winner would obviously be lined up for Alexander Volkanovski. Do you know if he can fight in the United States? Would we have to wait for that title fight to come back here next year?
I don't know anything. You know, when you guys ask me questions now, if this was last year, I could have told you everything, but I don't know anything anymore. We'll see how this thing plays out. And obviously, when we all leave Fight Island and go home, we're literally away from the election. And I truly believe that the election is going to have a huge impact on all the bullshit that we've been dealing with for the last however many months. And I'm hoping a lot of this is going to go away after the election.
Sounds good. I wanted to ask you one more about the featherweight division. Zabit Magomedsharipov, another guy at the top that's kind of been talked about. Do we have an update on him? He was supposed to fight in August. It didn't happen. Do we know when he's fighting next?
Yeah, we're working on something right now for him. He'll get another fight here.
Care to tease what it is?
I honestly don't know off the top of my head. Who? Zaire?
Yair.
Oh, Yair.
Yair, put it back together.
The fight's in Zaire.
Hey, we're doing big things here.
I can't hear.
Listen, for the last couple weeks, man, ever since Israel Adesanya, him and John Jones have been going back and forth nonstop, and now Izzy's camp is talking about they want to move up to light heavyweight. I mean, the idea of the super fight seems crazy. Is it a fight that could happen sometime soon? Are you interested enough to say, yeah, let's put this fight together?
Well, we got to talk to him. Obviously, that is a fight that we could definitely make. But I truly think that the winner of Cannonier and Whitaker should get the next shot. He said he'll fight Cannonier. I already beat Whitaker. But the Whitaker fight, if Whitaker wins, makes a lot of sense too. But it's a great problem to have. The problem is that, the winner of this fight, he should actually absolutely get the shot. You can look at the, Blachowicz fight and say, ooh, that's fun too. Ooh, John Jones is fun. He's got a lot of options. So it's never a bad thing when you have a lot of options. It'd be worse if we were sitting here right now and you're like, who's next? What do you do with this guy? You know what I mean?
Yeah. Got to ask you about Conor McGregor, of course. He went on Twitter and said, I'm in January 23rd. He mentioned Cowboy Stadium as a possibility, which, who knows. But January 23rd, him and Dustin Poirier, any update on that? Could that be the fight we see if he's saying he's in?
Yes. And Dustin said yes. So now it's a matter of getting contracts signed. So, listen, we've had a very good relationship with Jones for a long time and, talked about Dallas, Texas Stadium forever. I'm not going into any arena where we're going to fill a quarter of the arena or half the arena. So when crowds are ready to come back, we'll do crowds again.
Fair enough. And last one for me, Dan, I wanted to ask you about next week with Michael Chandler. What sold you on him? I can't imagine you watched a lot of his fights in Bellator, so to give him that kind of respect to say, hey, yeah, we're bringing you in and we're going to put you as a backup right away. What was it about him that caught your eye say, this guy deserves it?
I like people who want to fight. I'm in the fight business, and I make fights every weekend. Every weekend. We've been here for 5 weeks putting on fights every weekend for 5 weeks. And before that, we were in Vegas doing the Contender Series and all the other fights. That's what we do, and I like people who want to fight. And I always say it all the time. I've been saying it since the beginning of this, and I'll say it again. If you don't want to fight, nobody's pushing you to fight. You don't have to fight. Nobody's being forced to fight here in the UFC. So if you don't want to fight, no problem. Step out of the way. There's somebody who does.
Hey Dana, just going off the back of that, Islam Makhachev obviously lost his opponent, Rafael Santos. Did you go to Michael Chandler and say, hey, do you want that fight?
No, Michael Chandler's here for the other fight. That's what he's here to do. That's what he's focused on. He if anything bad were to happen, he will fight Gaethje or Khabib. That's it. That's all that kid has to worry about. We'll get him a fight when this is over, and we're working on a fight for Islam right now too.
So, a couple of outside of the thing, the current sports thing. Mike Perry said he was going to auction off a position in his corner recently. I was wondering, is that something the commission has to approve? Are you allowed?
No, you can't do that. Yeah, you can't do that.
And then similarly, John Jones recently confirmed a long-running story that he hid under a cage to avoid the drugs test. Is there a statute of limitations?
What happened?
John Jones told Israel Adesanya on Twitter that he hid under a cage at the gym to avoid being tested because he thought he was going to pop for marijuana. I was wondering, is there a statute of limitations on the commission being able to go back and say, you avoided the drugs test?
They don't test for marijuana.
Okay.
No, they don't test for marijuana anyway. Well, pre-testing, leading up. If it was within the fight window, he'd have been here and he'd have got tested anyway.
Maybe it's just
by the Athletic Commission. Yeah, I don't know anything about that, but yeah, no, they don't test unless you're in competition. They're not testing for marijuana anyway.
Hamza Chimaev is here on Fight Island. He says that he wants to fight December 19th, but there's no opponent yet. Have you got an update on him?
We will. We're working on it. He's been a hard guy to get an opponent for, so we're all over it. We'll have something done for him. I was hoping it would be done yesterday or today, but it's not, so we'll get it done.
Is that welterweight or middleweight, or are you just trying to find?
He doesn't give a shit. first guy to raise his hand and say he wants to fight him. He's in it anyway.
Chris Weidman actually called him out a little bit.
I saw that, yeah. Well, Chris Weidman is one of the guys we were talking to.
Trying to get him in December instead of January.
We're trying to get, he wants to fight, you know him. If we can get him a fight in December, he'll fight that and probably fight in January too, so. Which will piss everybody off again.
And last thing from me, the Ultimate Fighter, is that, you were talking about it with Conor and Khabib and then you said that fell apart. Do you have a set date for its return or are you still working on when it could be back?
We do. Is anybody in the room that knows the set date for the Ultimate Fighter? No, when we're going to start filming. Yeah, it's when I get home.
And who are the coaches?
Not yet, we don't have anything yet.
Thanks, Dan.
We'll let this thing play out, and I mean, there's been times where we've had the coaches days before we were getting ready to film.
Thanks, man.
Yep.
Any update on Usman, Burns, Masvidal, or Covington? I know a lot of people expected that fight.
That's all still being worked on. Yeah.
And then the bantamweight title fight between Jan and Sterling was finally announced. Why did it take so long to officially announce it? Were you just waiting to see how Moraes looked against Sandhagen?
Yeah, no. We're just here, and you know, this year fucking sucks, and it's it's just been a crazy year. You know what I mean? It's just everything. You guys are used to the way things were done, and now it's just a completely different world. So we've been dealing with a lot of everybody's, on top of everybody losing their mind right now, and it's been a weird year. It's been without a doubt the most challenging year of my entire career. And if you look at where we came from, that's saying a lot.
In the Corey Sandhagen, obviously, got the big win. He wants to fight T.J. Dillashaw. He's eligible to fight in January. Is that a fight you would be interested in?
No clue. What are we? We're 9 days away or something like that. Week away. I don't know what it is, but when we go home, try to figure out the rest of this year, and then we'll get January, February, and March dialed in, and not just who's going to fight, where we're going to go. And like I just said to him earlier, hopefully a lot of this nuttiness dies down after the election and we can start looking at venues. And who knows? I don't know the answers to any of these questions yet. Just trying to get through Fight Island.
Hey Dana.
Yeah.
Cyril Gane, the French prospect, was supposed to fight tomorrow. His fight has been pushed back for the 5th time now. He's ready to fight. Do you have any updates on what's going to happen to him?
We're working on him and JDS.
Ooh. Thank you.
You're welcome.
That's a fight.
Holy shit, I have an answer.
Dana, you mentioned that you're working on a fight for Islam Makhachev. Do you like the idea of him facing Michael Chandler?
No. They just asked me that question. No.
Thank you.
Yep. Good? All right. Thanks, guys.
Thank you. All right. That's a wrap. We'll have full recaps of it in my Junkie. Thank you.